Hello artists and crafters. Today we're going to be working on a wire weave, and we are going to use this weave to wrap around a resin piece that I had made in a previous video. If you'd like the link to that video, and if you haven't seen it, it'll be in the description box below, and it will also be at the end of this video. So I do hope you like this video, and let's get started. The supplies you'll be needing today are flush cutters, flat nose nylon tip pliers, needle nose pliers, and a mandrel or a round nose plier for making the bail. You'll also need a ruler. We're going to use beadsmith wire elements in 28 gauge and 20 gauge. So to begin, we are going to be making a wire weave for this resin piece. We're going to do that in silver wire, and you'll need to measure out 5 pieces of 20 gauge at 10 inches. And for the 28 gauge, you'll measure out anywhere between 50 inches and 70 inches. And if there's any left over, you can always use that for another project. So let's get started on the weave. Okay, here are the 5 pieces of 20 gauge. And we're going to take 2 and make sure they're even. And then we're going to find the middle part of the 28 gauge. So I just find the middle of that, and then we're going to wrap around this twice. Take your third wire, now this is where it changes up a little bit. So after you did the 2 wires with the 2 wraps, you will then take the 28 gauge and bring it between the first and the second wire. It can get a bit fidgety and they kind of get a little wonky there, so you just have to find that area. Okay, so the 28 gauge came up between the first and the second. Now you will do 2 wraps around the second and the third wire. You might have to move these a little bit so you can do the wraps. Okay, and after the second wrap, just leave it hanging towards the back. Now you're going to add 1 more wire. So that wire that's coming out the back, you'll go between the second and the third wire. And then you'll bring it over and then do 2 wraps over the third and fourth wire. Okay, and then you can tighten it up. Let this hang towards the back. Then bring in the 5th wire. Now you can do this with as many wires as you like when you're doing this weave for whatever stone you're working on. And it makes a really pretty zigzag pattern. let's see. Okay, so it's hanging in the back. So now you're going to bring this between the third and the fourth wire. And then you'll wrap twice around the fourth and the fifth. Okay, so we're going up, and this will be the front. Always remember which side is your front and always work as that part as the front, because the back will look different. Now, with that piece hanging in the back, you'll go between the fifth and the fourth, like so. And then you'll bring it down over the second and oops, I'm sorry. You'll bring it over the third and the fourth. And then you'll do 2 wraps over the third and the fourth. Okay, now it's hanging in the back, and what you're going to do is you're going to bring it up between the third and the fourth, like so, and then you're going to come down and do 2 wraps over the second and the third. Oops, I missed one. Just take that out. If you miss one, you could just take it out and then just go back in and find where it belongs. Like I said, it's a little bit fidgety. They kind of just go in their own little direction. All right. So now you have it behind again. And you're going to bring it up between the second and the third. And then you can tighten it up. And then this will go down again over the first and the second. And you'll do 2 wraps. Should have left that hanging in the back. Okay, there. So now you have an upward and then a downward. So next, it's hanging down. You're going to come up between the first and the second, and then you're going to go up the second and the third, and then wrap twice. Make sure it's tight. And then it comes out the back. Bring it forward between the second and the third. Oops, I missed that one. There we go. And then you'll do 2 wraps over the third and fourth. And then let it hang down the back. Tighten it up. Okay, now this, since it's hanging down the back, you're going to bring it up through the third and fourth, and then do 2 wraps over the 4th and 5th. Okay, I should have left this in the back. Tighten it up. And you can also take your needle nose pliers and flatten these. Okay, so we went back up again. Now we're going to go back down. So you're going to bring it between the 4th and the 5th. Bring it forward, and then you're going to do 2 wraps. So you're going to go down and do 2 wraps on the 3rd and 4th. And be careful with the 28 gauge. It can get a little kinked, and if you get it kinked too much, so work slowly. If you get it kinked too much, it can break. But if it does, you can always add more and continue with the wrap. But it's a lot easier if you just do it one continual wrapping like this with without kinking it and without breaking it. Okay, so here's the second wrap on the 3rd and 4th. Okay, so now you're going to come from behind and go between the 3rd and the 4th. And then you're going to wrap the 2nd and the 3rd. So you're going to go down between the 1st and the 2nd, and then bring it back up and wrap the 2. Oops, I should have stayed behind there. There we go. 2 wraps, and then you'll bring it up between the 2nd and the 3rd, and bring it down over the 1st and the 2nd, and then you'll do 2 wraps. Okay, so now it's hanging in the back again. So now we're going to go back up. So we're going to bring it through the 1st and the 2nd, and then we're going to go over the 2nd and the 3rd and do 2 wraps, and then bring 2nd wrap out towards the back. Next, bring it through the 2nd and the 3rd, and then you're going to wrap the 3rd and the 4th. So there's the 1st wrap, and then the 2nd wrap will come out the back. Oops. Then you'll bring it through the 3rd and the 4th, and then wrap the 4th and the 5th. Oops, I keep doing that. I keep bringing it forward. All right. So, as you can see, we got a good start. Starting to look like a zigzag. And now we're going to go back down. So you're going to bring it through the 4th and the 5th. and you're going to do 2 wraps over the 3rd and 4th. Then you will bring it again through the 3rd and the 4th, and then wrap down over the 2nd and the 3rd. Bring it out the back, bring it up through the 2nd and the 3rd, and then you will wrap the 1st and the 2nd twice. Okay, now we're going to go up, bring the wire through the 1st and the 2nd, and then you're going to go over and wrap the 2nd and the 3rd twice. Bring it through the 2nd and the 3rd. Oops, I went through the wrong one. Bring it through the 2nd and the 3rd, and then you're going to go over the 3rd and the 4th. Oops. And you're always going to wrap 2 for each one. Now you're going to come back between the 3rd and the 4th and wrap the 4th and the 5th. Okay. Oops, let me make sure it's in view here. And then once you have finished the one side, you can turn it over. Now remember, this is the front and then this is the back. So the front, it's the weaves of 2, 2, 2, 2, and on the back it is 1 and then a single and 1 and a single. So when you flip it, you just turn it this way, and then you can start doing your weave again. And then I will finish this up and I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm done weaving, and as you can see, there's a zigzag. And next what I'm going to do is I'm going to form it around this resin piece, and you want to get into the center and then wrap it around firmly. And then you can also see if you need to take away any or add. So right now it looks pretty good. And then what you want to do is you're going to take these and separate these just a little bit. And then you're going to alternate the sides. So they'll go in between each other. Like so. Okay, you can see that? And then you can round it up a little bit more. And you put your stone back in or your resin piece. And then you can see I do need to remove a few. So just open that up. And then we'll just take a few out. I just overwrapped a little, so we just need to take a little bit out on either side. Okay. And on this side. So now we're going to be using this wire also for the bail. So be very gentle when you're taking this apart so it doesn't break. Okay. We'll place this back in again. Okay. And then you can work with your fingers a little bit and round it off a little bit more. And then just keep putting your piece back in to make sure you've got it in a good spot. And you'll need your needle nose pliers. And then hold it as best as you can so you can get this towards the center. And then bend it up. Then go to the next one. Bend it up. So bend them up so they're all even. And then you can work on the other side. And that makes a nice tight fit. So the next, oops, get it centered. Okay. I'm just going to take one of these. One I'm going to use for the bail, and then one I'm going to wrap around here. And then on one of the back wires, I'm going to wrap several times. And make sure you put it down tight. And then I'm going to clip it. Okay. All right, after we clipped off that one piece, I'm going to secure this into the weave. So I'll remove this, and we'll use this little bowl, and I'll just put a little bit of some UV resin, and I'll use a small brush, and I'm just going to paint the edges. just ever so lightly. And then I'm going to place this back in. And now we are going to cure it for 60 seconds. And we'll be back in a minute. It's done curing. And next we're going to work on the bail. So we'll just move this 28 gauge aside. We're going to move the two front ones forward. Those are going to be the bail. And then the two back ones I'm going to use for wrapping. Now the ones in the center, if you're wrapping a stone, you can use those for embellishments on your stone. But in this case, I am just going to clip these off, and it's already secured, so it's not going to move. So I'm just going to clip these. Move these down a little bit more. And I'm not clipping them all the way down, just almost. Oops, I'm just leaving just a little piece. And then these I'm going to put aside and use these for other projects. Okay. Now, I'm also going to put just a little touch of resin on the inside of this, just to make sure that it does hold. I'm going to bend these back up just a little bit, and then I'm going to place this again inside to cure it for 90 seconds. All right, this has been cured, so now we're going to start on the bail. So first I'm going to wrap, let's see, twice over this one. Make sure you push them down and then bring it up in between, and then do 2 wraps. Then go underneath and over and make 2 wraps, and then underneath and over, two wraps, and come up and over and do 2 wraps around this one, and then up and over, 2 wraps around this, up and over, and 2 wraps. And then make sure you push them down nice and tight, and try not to overlap your wraps when you're doing this. So 2 wraps, and up and over, 2 wraps, bring it through and up and over, 2 wraps, up and over, 2 wraps, Keep your wraps nice and tight. And straighten these out every so often because they will get a little bent up while you're working. Oops. 2 wraps. Up and over. 2 wraps. And again. Try not to hold on too tightly to where you're doing the weave. If you do, it might get a little bent up in there. You don't want that, so just be careful. And then you can just push them down to with your nail, and then just go to the next one and wrap twice. Okay, so now we're about halfway up. So this is our bail, and what we're going to do is we're going to bend it in, and then up here, so it's easier for you to wrap, you can just bend these slightly outward. And then continue your wrapping. Oops, that moved. They will try to slide on down, so you can just hold it with your nail. Okay, I'll just finish this up and then I'll come back and show you when it's done. Alright, I finished the bail. Now we're just going to secure this. We'll wrap it 3 or 4 times, do 4 on one of these, and make sure it's secure. Then you can clip it and then secure that little piece there with your needle nose pliers. And that's the start of your bail. Okay, so next what I plan on doing is I am going to, and this is only for the resin piece, you would make your bail and then you would use these pieces to secure to the rest of your weave. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clip it, and then I'm going to wrap this around. Now I'm only using this part, the handle of the mandrel because it's a little bit thicker. And then I'm going to just make a slight little bend here. That. Oops, I'm sorry. And then I'm going to tuck it in. And then with these two outer pieces, I'm going to wrap around. I'm going to take this one down below a little bit. So I'm going to wrap around the upper part. Oops. Oh, let me see. And I'm just trying to do like a really nice even wrap around. And then this one will come around this way and then just wrap down below. And then I will clip this and clip a little off of this one. And with my needle nose pliers, I'm going to take it and bend it into the inside part and then secure it. Same with this one. I'm going to bend it up, up, up and over, and secure it on the inside. Make sure it's nice and tight and secure. Here. And let's see. Oh. There you go. And the resin should hold this in. And then I'll just put a little dab in here to make sure the wires stay really nice and tight inside. And we're done. Hello again. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press that little bell for further notifications of any upcoming videos. So again, the video for the resin piece will be in the description box below and at the end of this video. Also, in the description box you will find other links that show my artwork and my photography, and if you'd like to take a look, I hope you enjoy those too. So thank you again for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.